Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a little update on the 430. We haven't done too much with the holiday, but today I'll be going over some of the 6-speed swap stuff for the interior part. We're going to get that ready. Still waiting on parts for that. So if you guys remember from the first video, I said there was a lot of random things inside the car as far as electronics go. And that pile right there is all aftermarket stuff's been taken out. So it had everything from Sirius XM, more Sirius XM, GPS, navigation, even, let's see, an antenna was underneath the dashboard, a speaker for something. I believe this was for some type of F1 safety thing, I'm not sure. An old Escort. And all this is for the Escort. Cables and everything ran through the car. So we got all that junk out of there, and most of that stuff's cleaned up now, so it's all back to factory. So to prepare for this 6-speed manual swap, there's a few things that need to be done. First off is the center console area. Now, previously, most times you have to pull the whole entire console lower and upper out. We've actually found a way to get around that. Because what you see is the shifter box will sit right here. There's already bolt holes for it. The cables are run back under here, underneath the e-brake handle, and then back out. And I'll show you here in a minute where they go through the firewall. One of the modifications you have to do is, this is the factory centerpiece. Usually it sits like that with the reverse and auto button. With the manual swap, this all is gone. So what we'll do is take this piece, and on the certain ones, they're carbon fiber. On most of them, they are leather wrapped. On leather wrapped, it's the same process. Carbon fiber, you have to be a little more careful because it can crack. So what you do is you cut out this section right here and make it to where it's all open, and then the gate will sit right on top of that. You should be careful around these edges right here, because if you cut too much, then it'll be loose inside there. You gotta get it just right. On the leather ones, you can tuck underneath the leather and pull it back, and it'll add a little more sturdiness to it, so it's a little bit easier. The next thing we'll have to do is, for the pedals, you can see the brake pedal is pretty large, so you actually have to cut off these last two sections straight down to make room for the clutch pedal. And then behind the clutch pedal, we will run the master cylinder, and that on the 08 and below 430s, there's already a hole in the firewall, so there's no drilling needed. You'll run the hose through the firewall up to a standalone reservoir to hold the ATF fluid. That'll be the hydraulic pressure for the clutch. After that, on the interior, you can see there'll be some, we need to pull these back panels off, center speaker off to get to the two ECUs. We'll take those out, program them for the manual conversion. And then there's a couple little wiring things for the E-diff solenoids and all that kind of stuff that need to be done right there. And then the last thing on the interior wise that we'll have to do is, when the cables run back underneath through here, you're not going to really see it, but there's actually a plug back here against the firewall that was made for the manual cars. You just pop that plug out and run the cables back through there with the new sheathing and all that stuff on there. On the 6-speed conversion, you also want to get rid of the paddles. So all that holds those in is 2 bolts. You pull this cover off, take the 2 bolts out, and these will come right out, and then the interior should be pretty much wrapped up. So the exhaust on a 430 usually is, as you saw beforehand, comes down right here. Well, I'm doing a challenge rear end, so this brace right here on the Scuderias and the challenge cars have holes cut out because the exhaust comes through there. So we got that cut out and test fitted the new pipes. They're not connected, they're kind of just there to make sure they fit. So once we pull the transmission out and then go back in with it, we'll be putting the new, we'll do the headers, and then I have the Capristo cat bypasses that I'll be putting there as well. So over the next week, I'm hoping to get the interior set up and ready for the manual swap. I should see parts coming in probably late next week for that. I should have the front bumper back by then, so we can put it back on. The Challenge rear bumper, I received it, and it had some damage to it because it came off the Challenge card, so actual OE Ferrari. So I sent it off. It's getting repaired, and once this comes back repaired, we'll wrap it. And I went on one more grill piece for the rear end for the Challenge parts, and then the exterior should be done hopefully by end of next week. So guys, that pretty much does it for this week's episode. If you like what you see, please like, comment, subscribe. Any questions I can answer for you, please reach out. We'll see you guys in a week.